Meet the biggest announcement of the year, possibly Ubisoft's entire history too. I mean, over 15 studios all under Ubisoft's provision have been working apparently for quite some time. In fact, if I'm correct, since 2021 on until yesterday, Assassin's Creed Code Red, now finally titled to Assassin's Creed Shadows. So, as you can see, it's feudal Japan era, one of the most demanded settings by the fans. There's also two protagonists in this game. Ubisoft debuted the trailer, said the game's coming out November 15th.
A frog in a well who knows nothing of the sea. We must learn to trust, rebuild,
and follow the blade.
I said, who do you serve? We are the shadows
that serve the light.
Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is officially on its way to PCs in the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X as well, currently slated to launch within 2024. Well, Great Circle was announced roughly 2 years ago with just like a 20 to 30 cinematic trailer which did indicate nothing. Up until just a few months ago, we thought it's a cancelled project. However, the game is in great shape. It's made with the use of Unreal Engine 5. It's a cinematic first-person adventure coming from the famous developers of all Wolfenstein games.
Senua is experiencing an altered state of reality, which would be very hard to understand without having experienced it yourself or playing Hellblade.
Lost soul who fought through hell to find us.
You were lost.
Not even a whole week to go until we're having hands on one of the most notable Microsoft exclusive games of company's lifespan. We've got over here number 3, the one and only Senua Saga Hellblade 2, now coming out on May 21st on PCs and Xbox Series X only. In case some of you need a reminder, it's been over 7 years since the first game. Developers have promised to build on its original in all the right ways using Unreal Engine 5, lots of new technological advances, major overhaul in combat, and much more punishing nature. If you missed it, here's how it looks.
Explore.
They have lost everything.
In Saga, we've had the opportunity to explore the next phase of Senua.
My brothers used to come here to practice fighting. Sneak out. Follow them.
For Saga, in order to bring Senua's experiences of hallucinations to life, it was very...
Number 4, we've got a new solo developer's work revealed last month called Condemned. Condemned is basically a beat-em-up game inspired by the action films like B13 or, of course, The Raid, if you've been lucky enough to watch that. But Raid specifically because the game is actually set in Indonesia and the atmosphere is almost identical to the film. It's a short trailer. Condemned is under development with the Unreal Engine 5, still in early development phase and said to be coming out in 2025.
The trouble with an adventurous life, it can end before it gets started.
Oh, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 was once again revealed. It's available to pre-order now in all stores. Developers also said that Deliverance 2 will be twice as big as the original when it arrives. That being said, the sequel over here is of course a first-person medieval-style RPG set in a super reactive world in which players can develop their own characters as they see fit. I mean, I would say there's a lot of resemblance to Baldur's Gate 3. This is just different context, maybe even bigger.
Nobody will hand anything on a platter to men like you and me.
You still have a long way to go till your work is done.
A couple of weeks ago, we caught up with another brand new single-player game going by the name Second Loop. It's an action FPS, as you can see, that actually brings in sandbox physics, puzzle-solving elements. You're gonna see in this game you play as a robot sometime in a dystopian future, and you get to fight mechs. Not only, but you also have the power to manipulate gravity, which works both for the puzzles and also the combat. You can wish this a game on Steam. A release date for it, however, still yet to be announced.
Shall not flinch from crushing any insurgency or uprising with the inexorable...
It's a stark admonition to all who would presume...
A tightening grip that never unfolds. But what is hope if not the willingness to sacrifice everything?
I'm not sure, maybe we've mentioned this game once before, but just a quick reminder, one of the sub-studios in charge of a few of Blizzard IPs, games like Diablo, StarCraft, they came out and revealed the making of a single-player science fiction third-person shooter and an RPG going by the name Astropulse. Reincarnation. The story about this game seems to be the key. Why? It actually traces a billion-year cosmic energy known as Astropulse, name of the game, that has drastically altered Earth's biological evolution. This game is coming to PCs, PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X sometime next year.
I choose you, for you are king. Rise. Be my wrath, my revenge. Join me. A new age is upon us.
You crossed their boss S.T.A.L.K.E.R, and now he wants you gone. Rob his fortune and buy your freedom.
This job, it's a death wish.
Number 8, we have once again the famous George Lucas Star Wars AAA game Outlaws. Previously rumored to be coming out in 2025, the game is actually due for PCs and the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X on August 30 this year. Outlaws, I'm pretty sure most of you know, actually goes on a whole different direction compared to the previous entries of the franchise in both scale, gameplay, and also the story. It is the work of Ubisoft, Lucasfilms, and also Disney. Check it out.
Because you are one of the best hunters in the Outer Rim.
She's more connected than you let on, S.T.A.L.K.E.R. Bess is mixed up in something bigger.
The Outer Rim is a dangerous place. Everyone is fighting for their piece of the galaxy. But all I want is to live free. So I'm gonna risk it all. Hold on, Nick!
All I know is that it's serious.
It's more than serious, Luna. It is.
Moving into number 9, we have Unknown 9, Awakening. This was revealed over 4 years ago through just a reveal cinematic. Nothing ever since until recently we received the gameplay, which actually turned this whole thing into an even bigger surprise. Unknown 9 is an action-adventure RPG, like Assassin's Creed games. It's a stealth-based, but also then the characters got some superpowers. The story we couldn't even speculate, but this game is said to be coming out in the third quarter of the year. That being said, number 10, we've got the long-awaited sequel to GreedFall. GreedFall 2 The Dying World is one of the most anticipated open-world role-playing games in the making, BioWare style. Apparently the story seems to be starting 3 years before the events of the first game. Now you play as a native king in the old world, ravaged by the same war, plague, and the political schemes. Here's a trailer. This game is coming to all consoles in the third quarter of 2024.
This is what the Mongols call human beings that were born with the gift to understand the language of the horses.
If the gameplay didn't sell it right away, you're looking at a brand new open world delivery game kinda like Death Stranding, in which you ride horses in 13th century Mongolia. Name of the game is Windstorm, Legend of Khiimori. Think you're playing Horizon, maybe a little bit of Shadow Colossus in scale, and also the famous Death Stranding delivery system. What's even better that this game is not set in the future, but over 800 years into the past, so you can maybe learn a little bit about history. It's set to be coming out around September.
Windstorm, the legend of Khiimori.
Скіфе?
Що ти тут робиш?
Та трохи життя живу. Поглянь, як тут.
S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2 Heart of Chornobyl just went on and received the release date of September 5, 2024. Previously, we heard there's a good chance it might come out around March, soon realized it's not the case. However, developers actually made the game's release a little solid. Accompanied that, we got more in-game footage. It's coming to PCs, Xbox Series X as the promised platforms as before. This is also, for those of you new, a survival horror open-world first-person shooter, and this is legit in-game footage.
Навіть самого себе. Як будеш у Прип'яті, перше коло на колесі за мною.
Гаразд.
Digging around every different corner of Europe background for a sitting. The latest in line to come up with a Souls game out of the old history is possibly what we have here. A Italian developer's AAA action RPG going by the name Enotria, which we mentioned many times before. This game has a rather different approach. In Enotria, you see players get to free the actors that are forced to play scripts by defeating their enemies. Afterwards, they take on the role of defeated enemies by wearing their mask. I know this doesn't make sense, the trailer maybe clears some, but you gotta see the full gameplay. I mentioned this one a few months ago too. We've got another cyberpunk style open world game here from an indie developer. This is actually a team-based action RPG if you think you need to keep your radars up for one. Well, Spine's been in development for over 4 years. It has been teased only once, maybe twice, I'm not sure, and that was until recently. Game was picked up earlier, now it's set to be coming to PCs, PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X by the end of the year.
Amateurs. Let's welcome them properly.
Number 15, we have Kiborg. Revealed almost a year ago to this day. I've actually talked about this game many times before in case you missed it, however. Kiborg is an action roguelite story-driven fighting game tagged as a mix of gore intense combat and a probable endless replay loop. Why? Well, the game has a time crisis or like time-sensitive nature and relies a lot on decisions. Here's how it looks. This game is coming to PCs, PlayStation 4 and also 5, possibly by the end of the year. A first-time mentioner, Dead Flamingo is a action-adventure fantasy game about the story of a fisherman, seems to be pretty optimistic, that's stuck on a time loop nightmare thing in an Insidious world that meets his end like every 7 days. Here's the thing, in Dead Flamingo, your main mission is to find a way to just break the cycle that ends the world. To do this, you get to uncover the secrets of the world, build relationship with others, and hopefully put together a happy ending to all this nonsense. Number 17, we have another open world survival craft game, however, it's a third-person player, going by the name Dawn of Defiance. Developers have said in this game you play as the Defier of the gods, Greek gods. You start from almost nothing, just a weak soldier, to then eventually a godlike anti-hero. You won't do that alone if you wanted, you could do that with a friend and a co-op play to share your building tactics and fighting stuff, and then hopefully defeat all the gods. Anyway, this game is coming to PCs only by the end of the year.
I've seen the dark universe yawning, where the black planets roll without aim.
Moving on to number 18, here's a survival horror first-person adventure game, going by the name Stygian, or Stygian, not really sure. I wasn't even sure about the name or what it indicates, but apparently it comes from the Greek mythological god Styx, who represents the loathing of death. Anyway, you get the idea. The story with this one is rather dark and heavy, kind of like the movie The Lighthouse. It certainly looks like it's a little inspired by the movie. However, all we know is that the game is coming out to PCs sometime next year.
Acá en esta tierra ya habitada, llegaron ellos. Los primeros se decían ser.
Now, this has to be either one of the best upcoming games we're waiting for, or one of the biggest scams we've seen for a while. But I actually double-checked, developers are legit, a team of a handful of Polish programmers who have been working pretty hard to finally come up with a trailer. Path into the Abyss is a post-apocalyptic survival FPS, but definitely inspired by both the S.T.A.L.K.E.R and the Metro games, said to be coming to PCs, hopefully, no longer than 2025. This is how it looks.
Y con más fuerza que nunca lucharon para mantener sus raíces, sus creencias. Miraron el cielo en las celebraciones de la Epifanía y vieron viajar una luz de fuego que iluminó los campos llanos, y allí se fueron, buscando eso que descendía de la casa del Creador Todopoderoso, una señal.
Yo estuve ahí. Existe algo distinto que vive en lo profundo. Es como una sombra. Ahora lo siento conmigo todo el tiempo.
The city of Tyr, in the lands of Avonlore. I could not have imagined such beauty.
Last but not least, we've got Eldrimar, something called Eldrimar. This was revealed almost a year ago. It's a action RPG adventure, a survival horror game too. The story about a warrior named Saren who has actually been trained since childhood for invasion. This guy's now all out to clear the world of necromancers and just dark magic. There's a lot of exploration to do. It's a non-linear game in nature, played in first person. We've heard it's coming to PCs exclusively by the end of the year. Thanks for watching.
The warrior of Azator. You are the sword of vengeance in the hands of your race. It is you who will invade the mortal realm and unlock the great portal. The time has come to reclaim our world.